Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to Digital Social Science YouTube channel. Let us start social science subject of 10th standard. So, first lesson of a history, that is advent of the Europeans to India. We will be learning mind map, flow chart, important points with the help of charts, maps and pictures prepared by myself, M. Ruxana, Assistant Teacher, Galib High School, Cantonment, Bellary. Advent of the Europeans to India. The trade and commerce relationship India had with Europeans. The arrival of Europeans to India for trade. The Carnatic Wars in the backdrop of European political developments. Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, and dual government system, the British policy of aggression. Now, let us start with the introduction. There were trade and commerce relationship between India and Europe since ancient times. There was great demand for Indian spices like pepper, cardamom, ginger and many other spices in Europe. You can see in this picture. The trade relationship continued between India, Europe and other Asian countries even during Middle Ages. The trade and commerce between Asia and Europe was taking place through the city of Constantinople, and it's a center of international business. It's a center of international business and also considered as the gate of European trade. These are the countries of Asia. These are European countries. Here I have marked the Constantinople. In 1453, the Ottoman Turks captured the city of Constantinople. As a result, all the trade routes connecting the city of Constantinople came under the control of Turks. Therefore, Turks started too much taxes on the goods passing through these routes. Look at the map here. The European countries felt that the trade was not profitable. Meanwhile, Spain and Portugal were attempting to break the monopoly of Italian traders. They started encouraging courageous sailors to find a sea route to India. In this map, you can see the Portugal and Spain here. The invention of compass, astrolabe, gunpowder and maps provided further impetus to this venture. Let us know about Portuguese. The Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama reached Calicut on the east coast of India in 1498. This route continued to be the route of trade between India and Europe for many years. Portuguese were the first to re-establish trade between India and Europe. Francisco de Almeida arrived in India as the Viceroy of Portuguese. He implemented blue water policy in order to establish the supremacy over the sea instead of supremacy over lands. Alfonso Albuquerque is considered as the real founder of Portuguese Empire in India. He waged a battle against the Sultan of Bijapur in 1510 and won Goa. Goa became the administrative center of Portuguese in India and also became declined with the arrival of British and French in India. So, next topic is Dutch. Dutch are from Holland or Netherlands. In 1602, United East India Company was established. They established warehouses in Surat, Bhuj, Cambay, Cochin, Nagapatnam, Muslipatnam, etc. Decline of Dutch, unable to face competition from English and French. This is European continent. Here you can see Netherlands. So, after Dutch, we are going to see about English. In 1600, December 31st, Queen Elizabeth issued a royal charter authorizing East India Company to trade with Eastern countries for 15 years. So, you can see the English marked here in Europe continent. You can see Queen Elizabeth here. The Mughal Emperor Jahangir issued a royal permission to English to establish their first warehouse or factory at Surat. Sir Thomas Roe got the permission from Jahangir to establish factories in other places of Mughal Empire. In 1639, English took Madras from the king of Chandragiri and established a strong fort named St. George Fort. This is an image of St. George Fort. Charles II, the Prince of England, gave Bombay as annual rent of £10 a year to East India Company in 1668. In 1690, the English purchased 3 villages, namely Sutanoti, Calicut, and Govindapura on the banks of Hooghly River and built Fort William. So, here there is an image of Fort William. In 17th century, the English had established Bombay Madras, Calcutta as the center of their presidencies. After English, we'll see about French. French East India Company started as a government-owned company in 1664. In this map, you can see the French country where French lived. Trading centers were Chandranagar, Yenon, Mahe, Karikal. In 1674, the French took Valikandapuram from a local Muslim official and developed it as a major trade center. That center is Pondicherry. Dupleix, who arrived in Pondicherry as the Governor General of French and was the major power in South India. This ambition led to Carnatic Wars with the English. This is an image of Dupleix. So, here all the Carnatic Wars took place. You can see in a map, it's in a green color. Now, let's learn about First Carnatic War. It was held from the year 1746 to 48 in between French and English. Let us go through the reason of First Carnatic War. La Bourdonnais, a French military leader from Mauritius, invaded Madras and captured it. After some time, he took money from the English and returned Madras and went back Mauritius. This enraged Dupleix and attempted to take Madras but failed in it. The First Carnatic War was ended by the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. Let us learn about Second Carnatic War. It was held from the year 1749 to 54 in between French and English. Let us go through the reasons of Second Carnatic War. In Carnatic, Chanda Sahib was the Nawab with help of French. Robert Clive of East India Company attacked Arcot, the capital city of Carnatic, and defeated Chanda Sahib. In the place of Chanda Sahib, the English named Muhammad Ali, the son of Anwaruddin, as the Nawab of Carnatic. The Second Carnatic War was ended by the Treaty of Pondicherry. Now, let's learn about Third Carnatic War. It was held from the year 1756 to 63 in between French and English. Let us go through the reasons of the Third Carnatic War. Comte de Lally of French attempted to besiege Wandiwash in 1760. Sir Eyre Cote of the English army defeated the French and imprisoned Bussy. Comte de Lally escaped and hid in Pondicherry. Sir Eyre Cote attacked Pondicherry and Count de Lally had to surrender unconditionally in 1764. The Third Battle of Carnatic was ended with the Treaty of Paris. Let's know the result of Carnatic Wars. Pondicherry was returned to French. French lost their importance in India. English started consolidating their power over the southern India. Till here, we have learned about the Carnatic Wars. Now let us learn about the Battle of Plassey. It was held in the year 1757 in between Sirajuddaulah and British. Let us go through the reasons of Battle of Plassey. First, misuse of dastaks. Sirajuddaulah was furious that the dastaks were misused by the officials of the company, incurring losses to the government treasury. The second reason is mending of the fort without permission. The British repaired the fort of Calcutta and placed cannons in them. Third reason is the Black Room tragedy. Sirajuddaulah conquered the Fort William easily and imprisoned some of the British. He imprisoned 146 Englishmen in a small room in the fort, of which 123 died. These are the reasons of the Battle of Plassey. Now let's see the outcomes of this battle is Mir Jafar became the Nawab of Bengal. The company gained exclusive rights to do business in Bengal. Plassey is located in West Bengal. Let us learn about Battle of Buxar. Buxar is located in Bihar. It was held in the year 1764 in between Mir Qasim and British. The main reason of Battle of Buxar is British brought Mir Jafar again and dethroned Mir Qasim. The British won this battle. The outcome of this battle is Shah Alam II accorded the Diwani rights. Here the Diwani rights means collection of taxes over Bengal to the British. The company paid pension to the Mir Jafar's son and took over the entire administration to Bengal. Here is our last topic of the lesson is the dual government. The dual government was introduced by Robert Clive in the year 1765 in Bengal. The Diwani rights. So the Britishers took the Diwani rights, nothing but the collection of tax, and gave the administration and judiciary power to the Nawab of Bengal. Thank you. Subscribe this channel for upcoming lessons.